10th place is Logan Sargent.
Oh my God.
He got a point. He got a point.
Longhorn, you owe him an apology.
Hello out there in internet land. This is episode 21 of the 2023 season of the F1 Chat. I am your host, Phil Lamington. Sitting to my left is the man, the myth, the legend. It's JB. How are you, JB?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Another good weekend for one of my boys.
Yeah, well, it was a good weekend for one of my boys too. But before we get into it, no Longhorn again. He's away on assignment again.
He's outstanding in his field.
Yep, outstanding in his field, waiting for Sogan Largent to come back for him.
Just waiting for him to come back from Texas.
Just waiting. It's that meme.
At least hitting things with a Chevy Silverado in Texas is for the norm.
Right, so we just watched the 2023 Circuit of the Americas race from Texas, Austin, Texas.
Yeehaw.
It was race 18 of the 2023 season. But before we get into talking about the main race, we have a sprint race to talk about. So, JB, take it away with the sprint race.
Yes, the enthrallingly not enthralling sprint race. Lap 1. The sprint race at the Circuit of the Americas. Max Verstappen starts on pole position alongside Charles Leclerc. Max squeezes Charles to maintain the whole shot. Lewis Hamilton gets past Leclerc on the outside of turn 2 for second place. Carlos Sainz dive bombs Lando Norris for 4th. Sergio Perez gets past Oscar Piastri for 6th. And George Russell follows him through, although seemingly off the track. Lap 6, George Russell is handed a 5-second time penalty for overtaking off the track. Lap 7, Alex Albon passes Oscar Piastri for 9th. Lap 17, Lance Stroll pits and retires in his Aston Martin with brake failure. And lap 19, Max Verstappen wins the F1 sprint race, the first driver to win 3 sprint races in a single season, from Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc.
With Lando Norris coming in 4th for McLaren, Sergio Perez coming in 5th for Red Bull, Carlos Sainz coming 6th for Ferrari, Pierre Gasly coming in 7th for Alpine, and George Russell finishing 8th for Mercedes.
It was a really good advertisement for Yeti to really pick and choose what tracks you do your sprint races at.
Well, Max Verstappen has come out and said, look, I don't really think we need the sprint races.
No, they're talking about making the sprint race its own separate championship. Every sprint race is going to be a reverse grid, and yeah, I mean, they're sort of pointless, let's be honest.
Well, no, because Verstappen got 8 points, so it's not pointless, but...
Well, it's not, but it's pointless for everyone outside the top 8.
Yeah, look...
Yeah, I was a fan of it, and now I'm no longer a fan of them.
It just depends on the track. Like, CotA is not the track for a sprint race.
No, it's not.
It's got to be a track where it's just straights, like Monza.
Monza and Red Bull Ring, and maybe you could do Spa.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or Zandvoort.
Yeah, Zandvoort makes sense. There's tracks that make sense for a sprint race. CotA is not one of them.
No, not at all.
Not in the slightest.
Yeah, that's like making a sprint race for Suzuka. It just doesn't... It won't work.
Or Singapore.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work, yeah. And this did not work because by lap 5 or 6, every car on the track was outside the DRS zone of the car in front.
Yeah.
They weren't. It wasn't even a DRS train. They were all running like 1.5 seconds just line astern.
Because I think Mexico would be a good track.
Mexico would be a great track for a sprint race.
Yeah. But the flip side of the coin is because of the high altitude, you run the risk with the engines.
Yeah, you damage your engines too, which is probably why they won't.
Yeah. But, yeah, look, they really do need to seriously think about where they're running these sprint races because This one did not work.
This is the worst sprint race I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So this was the worst sprint race I've ever.
I think the highlights went for 2.5 minutes.
I have a gap from lap 7 to lap 17 of nothing happening.
Yeah.
10 laps of a sprint race, of a race that only went for 19 laps. 10 of them, nothing happened. That's bad. That's not a good look.
Yeah, that's the polar opposite of what a sprint race is supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, well, lessons learned. Move on.
Yeah.
Don't do it next year.
Right. Moving right along to the F1 report. Take it away, JB.
Back at it. All right. The main event. The 2023 Lenovo United States Formula One Grand Prix from Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Shoot on the ye, not the haw. Lap 1. Charles Leclerc starts on pole position alongside Lando Norris. Lando Norris gets the whole shot into turn 1 to lead the Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri climbs to 6th spot to battle Max Verstappen. Lap 2, Esteban Ocon complains of side pod damage as he has a big slide in the first sector. He also had a big contact with Oscar Piastri. Lap 4, Lewis Hamilton passes Carlos Sainz for third position with the aid of DRS. Lap 5, Max Verstappen picks off Carlos Sainz for fourth. Lap 6, Lewis Hamilton passes Charles Leclerc for P2. Lap 7, Esteban Ocon is told to retire the car with damage. Lap 10, Oscar Piastri is told to retire his car with internal damage to his radiator after the opening lap collision with Esteban Ocon. Alex Albon, Kevin Magnussen and Valtteri Bottas all pit. Lap 11, Max Verstappen passes Charles Leclerc for third. Lap 14, Logan Sargent passes Kevin Magnussen for 17th. Lap 17, Max Verstappen pits for medium tyres. Lap 18, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz pits. Lando Norris pits for hard tyres. Carlos Sainz pits for medium tyres. Lap 20, Lewis Hamilton pits for hard tyres. Lap 21, Lando Norris passes George Russell for second. Lap 24, Charles Leclerc pits for hard tyres. Lap 26, Alexander Albon passes Zhou Guanyu for 11th. Lap 28, Max Verstappen passes Lando Norris for the lead of the Grand Prix. Lap 35, Lando Norris pits for another set of hard tyres. Lap 36, Max Verstappen pits for hard tyres. Lap 39, Lewis Hamilton pits for hard tyres. Max Verstappen passes Charles Leclerc for the lead of the Grand Prix. Lando Norris passes Charles Leclerc for second. Lap 43, Logan Sargent is given black and white flag for track limits. Lewis Hamilton passes Charles Leclerc for third. Lap 49, Lewis Hamilton passes Lando Norris for second. Lap 51, Fernando Alonso retires from the race with suspected rear suspension damage. And lap 56, Max Verstappen wins the United States Grand Prix, the 50th of his career. Lewis Hamilton finishes second, Lando Norris finishes third, Yuki Tsunoda gets fastest lap, Lando Norris gets driver of the day.
Well, at least that was the initial classification.
Except
Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc both got disqualified post-race for the barge board underneath being undersized.
yes, they wore away too much of their plank thingy underneath the car.
Barge board.
Yeah,
They were planking too much.
they were being plankers.
So the ratified ones, which F1 has not posted on their Facebook page, so I can't download it at the moment, so I had to sit there and physically print it out from their actual F1 page. So Max Verstappen wins for Red Bull Racing. In second place is Lando Norris for McLaren. Third place is Carlos Sainz for Ferrari. Fourth place is Sergio Perez for Red Bull. Fifth place is George Russell for Mercedes. Sixth place is Pierre Gasly for Alpine. Seventh place is Lance Stroll.
What?
Lance Stroll got seventh place.
My God.
8th place was Yuki Tsunoda for AlphaTauri.
Wow.
9th place was Alexander Albon in the Williams.
Nice.
And 10th place is Logan Sargent.
Oh, my God.
He got a point. He got a point.
Longhorn, you owe him an apology.
Had a wristy.
Interesting. Holy shit, he did it.
He did it.
Hometown
He
boy.
did it. Woohoo.
Shoot on the yee. Oh.
Bang, bang, motherfucker.
There'll be Bud Light in the parking lot tonight, boys. Yee-haw.
Have a drink on me, James.
Have a
I might
drink on
have
me.
two.
Have a drink on me, Logan. Well done. Double points finish for Williams.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, like we said, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc both got disqualified for their barge boards being undersized.
Yeah, they grounded. I think it's got to be 0.2 of a mil, and they exceeded it. Basically, their ride height was too low.
Look, we know that 5/8 of an inch has no...
5/8 of an inch has no bearing on speed. 0.2 of a millimeter apparently does. Says the FIA.
So it was a shame that
It's a shame. Lewis Hamilton drove really well.
Yeah, well... Jesus, I'm waiting for an episode of us to do this where I'm not dying.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah. No, look, yeah. It was Lewis Hamilton genuinely had a really good race.
And the thing was, well, we'll get to the key drivers then.
Yeah.
We'll go straight to the key drivers. My first key driver was Lando Norris. He drove an outstanding race.
Yes. Yeah. He led the race till half distance.
Yeah, like he just dominated for the first half of the race.
He had that lead out to about 7 seconds. Like, he was cruising. But unfortunately, he didn't have a second set of medium tyres left.
Yeah,
He only had 2 sets of hards, so once he got on the hards, he started losing his way. But, yeah, the first stint was magic.
it really shows that this McLaren has come along in leaps and bounds. Like, it really is a rocket. We say that every episode.
Yeah, we have.
Yep, because it is.
I think this is Lando's, like, fourth or fifth consecutive podium.
I think so. It's something like that, yeah.
It's crazy. Like, he's constantly on the podium now. It's like McLaren in like 2012. Or like, there's always a McLaren on the podium now, which is phenomenal.
Well, until he got qualified, my next key driver was Lewis Hamilton. I actually think he drove a really good race.
He drove a great race. That last stint on the mediums was brilliant. He hunted Lando down, and he was probably 2 laps away from hunting Max down too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he drove brilliantly. Unfortunately, the FIA...
spotted an irregularity, and
and it wasn't just him. It was also Charles Leclerc. So
well, he was the next driver on my list. Like, he drove fairly well. Towards the end, the car dropped off.
Yeah.
But he drove really well. He had a really good weekend.
Yeah.
Despite the points weren't on the board, but I mean, he had a pole position.
Yep.
And he had a solid car underneath him, but it just dropped off at the end.
A lot of cars did, though. Like,
And
even Max was struggling with the brakes. The McLaren dropped off on the hard tyres. The Ferraris dropped off. You know, Lando was struggling with his brakes too. A lot of cars had brake issues this weekend.
Well, it was
I
supposed to be
noticed.
really hot, so...
Yeah, it was. Apparently, track temp was like 45 degrees. So.
Yeah. My next key driver was Carlos Sainz.
Yep.
Drove a very smart, simple race.
Kept his nose clean, and at the end of the day, was promoted to the podium.
Yeah, got a podium out of it.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. My next driver, I can't believe I'm about to say this, was Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
He managed to finish in the points,
Yeah.
which is something he hasn't done for months.
With
months.
the new aero package,
That
as
Fernando
opposed to the
doesn't
old one
like.
that Fernando Alonso didn't want.
Yeah.
To be fair, had Fernando Alonso's rear suspension not cracked, he would have finished ahead of Lance.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, look, good on him.
You know, he was there at the end.
Yep.
Yeah. And my final one after months and months of being on the other list, is Logan Sargent. I mean,
He's
got a point.
graduated.
He got a point.
Yep.
And Albon got 2 points.
Yep.
So 3 points.
3 points
tagged
for Williams,
right
which is in the shit heat battle down the bottom. That's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to keep them ahead of the Alfa Romeos and the Haas's and the Alfa Tauris.
They're sort of in that no man's land between. I think they're too far behind. Is it Alpine?
Oh, yeah, they can't catch Alpine, but
they're far enough ahead of Alfa Romeo and the like.
well, there's still striking distance there. But
Yeah. No, but good needed points for Williams.
absolutely, and it would be a real confidence boost for Logan Sargent.
Yeah,
He
he
needs
needed
it.
that. He
needed
and
that.
his own track too. He'll take a bit of a bounce out of it.
Yeah. Right, now we get to the dumbass driver of the race. I only have one. It's Max Verstappen.
Is it Max for just his constant whinging?
Yes.
He did whinge a lot.
Like, honestly, we sit here and I think it was last race or the race before where Lance Stroll pushed his personal trainer and carried on like a pork chop. This isn't far off it for me. You know,
It's verbal abuse.
yeah, and
We said mid-broadcast, it's like, when is Giampiero Lambasi just going to switch to just unplug his headset and just use fucking pitboards?
yeah, look,
Because every time he gets on the radio, and this is a dude who's winning the fucking race, right?
and he's won the championship.
He's already won the championship and the constructors, and he's leading the Grand Prix, and he's going off his tree at his race engineer in a car that's winning the race because the brakes are slightly not as good as they were yesterday.
And he's apparently talking to him in the braking zones. It's like, well, fuck, mate. Like, it's real. You know, we used to give Lewis Hamilton shit over how he'd speak to Bono and say, "Don't talk to me in the corners and don't talk to me on the straights."
Yes.
Apparently Bono replied with, "Well, don't talk to me on the straights."
Don't ask me for answers on the straights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I was JP, I'd be pulling Max Verstappen aside and going, "Mate, you might be world champion, but if you pull that again, I'll fucking kill you."
Giampiero looks like a hard ass too, man. I reckon he would. I reckon he'd drop backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, what's he chasing? Perfection now? Is he just chasing perfection now?
I think he's just being a snobby little shit.
He's got literally nothing to lose anymore.
Yeah, he's won everything in it.
He's won everything. He can go on holidays now.
Yeah.
Take the trophy with you. You don't have to rock up to the last six
He
races.
could take the rest of the year off, put Liam Lawson in the car,
Yeah.
and he still won everything. Like, it's nothing. But there is no need for this kind of carry on.
There's not. It's not like I don't even think he was this bad was it Singapore where he was super struggling?
No, he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but I mean, the car was shit in Singapore.
Yeah.
Like, the car just did not have anything
Yeah.
in Singapore, and he wasn't carrying on this badly.
Yeah.
This is a car that had won the sprint race yesterday,
Yeah.
and was leading the Grand Prix now.
Yeah.
And he's acting like he's in 12th when he's acting like.
I mean, I could understand Lewis Hamilton sitting there saying, "This is crap, blah, 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 blah." And he was more restrained than Max Verstappen was.
Who was winning the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Oh, I just think he wins the dumbass of the race
Yeah,
award by a country mile.
I don't like his attitude lately, especially towards Giampiero Lambasi. He's had his back.
Imagine how he treats his girlfriend.
He's had his back since fucking 2016 when he moved into the Red Bull system.
Yeah, it's just.
It's unneeded. It's unwarranted.
I think the word despicable comes up.
It's not like he was struggling super bad. I mean, yeah, Lewis was catching him at the end, but the car wasn't completely undrivable like he sometimes says it is.
No,
I mean, he literally called it a piece of shit. Like,
yeah,
the car's a piece of shit. And then Martin Brundle's comments was, well, the RB19's the best Formula One car I think we've ever seen, but Max has other terminologies for it. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
You weren't the only one out there struggling with brakes.
Yeah, I think Max Verstappen sort of oversteps the line a fair bit.
I think he, along with his brakes, were a little bit overheated today.
Yeah. And I think that's a problem that I have with Christian Horner, is that Christian Horner doesn't do enough to diffuse it.
He never has.
Whereas Toto Wolff, like if George is going on and on and on and on about Lewis Hamilton crashed into me, blah, 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 eventually Toto will get on the radio and go, okay, George, you need to calm down and just get on with it. We don't need to hear anything about it. Just keep going with the race.
Which he does.
Yeah.
You never hear Christian Horner jumping on telling Max to, like, calm the fuck down.
No.
It's always Jean-Pierre Lambassi just getting agitated.
And then at the end of the race, it's like, well, look, Max, what a great race you've done there.
That was awesome. And then they just act like, it was the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Just act like you just kicked the soccer ball from the penalty spot into an empty net.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? It was
and
fine.
the simple fact that during this week there was a report that came out where Max Verstappen had said in this report that if it was a choice between Christian Horner leaving the team or Helmut Marko leaving the team, he thinks Christian Horner should leave the team.
What?
Yeah. Like,
is he secretly disgruntled? What's going on?
Oh, look, I think
winning's too easy now. What?
Yeah, what I mean, like if he had to pick,
Helmut Marko's like borderline racist.
Yeah.
He came out and called your teammate a lazy Mexican, like with no filter.
Yeah.
He's lazy because he's South American. Like, holy shit.
And Christian Horner owns, I think, 30% of the team himself.
Christian Horner's brilliant. I would have him at McLaren in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
I'd have him around just to have his wife around. Yeah,
you go run the team, just have Jerry in the back, just...
Oh, yeah.
Just something to look at, eh?
Yeah, well.
Bit of extra motivation.
Bit of spice.
Bit of ginger spice.
So that's my vote.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I'm just...
Well, I mean, you can't put Piastri in there.
No, Piastri
you can't put Ocon in there.
Was a racing collision.
You can't put Fernando Alonso in there.
Yeah.
So there was only one person who was a dumbass all day, and it was Max Verstappen.
It was.
Right. Moving on to the news, and the first news item is that the Belgian F1 is locked in until 2025, so they've signed a 1-year extension. This should be on an infinite year extension.
I'd be way more excited about this announcement if it was locked in until 2035.
Yeah. It should be.
Yeah, if this race ever leaves the calendar...
I'm done. I'm walking.
I'm done.
Fucking done.
Yeah. Yep.
This and Monza, if the two of them are off the calendar, I'm fucking done.
I
will go and watch MotoGP.
I'll go watch IndyCar, fuck yes.
Yeah.
I already watch MotoGP, so, it's not a threat for me.
Know. Yeah.
That's not a threat for me, but yeah, look, this is the best track in the calendar, so.
Yeah, it and Monza.
Yeah, literally. Spa and Monza.
Yeah.
Historic, fast tracks, great tracks to drive in the game.
And so many memorable moments over the years.
Yes, at both those tracks.
Yeah, 98 where there was the mass pile up on the first turn.
Yep.
Twice,
yes.
2000 with Hakkinen on that amazing overtake on Schumacher.
Yep, whilst lapping another car.
Yeah. I mean, it's moments like that.
Especially like a wet qualifying here, except 2021 when they cancelled it, but because of the rain. But Spa's, and I want to go there one day.
Yeah,
it's bucket list to get a spot in the grandstand at Eau Rouge.
Well,
at the top of the hill.
My relatives are from Belgium.
Yeah, once I get some money up, I will go there one day and I will watch a race.
We'll do the triple header.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
Go from Belgium to Monza.
Yep.
To Zandvoort.
Which works now because it's after the summer break.
Yeah.
Not before it.
Well, no, Spa's before the summer break.
Oh no, so we're going to have to come home.
Ah, fuck it.
Or no, we'll just stay there for a bit.
We'll go visit Chernobyl. It's just down the road, isn't it?
Dare to go touch the elephant's foot. $10. Why's that dog got 5 legs?
What's the meter say? 3.6 Roentgen.
Oh, not great, not terrible. Not great, not terrible. It's like a chest X-ray.
It's like 100 chest X-rays.
Yeah, you're fine. Good series, actually.
I can imagine you smashing the hotel room phone.
Yeah.
And walking out going, they gave the Germans the propaganda number. I need a new phone.
I need to watch that series again. Fuck, it's good.
It is.
It's really, really good.
It is. I'm trying to convince Carol to watch it, but she's like, oh, no, I can't do it.
It's a bit graphic.
The one thing in that series, like the one sort of bit, is where all the soldiers are walking through the village shooting the dogs.
Yeah.
That is possibly the hardest thing to watch.
Yeah. But I mean...
But then you get the sergeant who comes along and just rips into the boy and says, I told you, you shoot them, you kill them, they don't suffer.
Yeah.
And you're like...
Okay, I understand it.
You think he's an absolute asshole, and then he does that, and you're like, no, he's more humane than you think.
Yeah, it's either that or they just all die of radiation.
And then they find the dog with the puppies.
Yeah.
And he just says to the boy, walk out. You can't do this, walk out.
Yeah.
But watching that series, I don't think I've ever said the words, oh, you fucking dickhead, that many times. You know, the pregnant woman. Are you pregnant? No, you dickhead.
Yeah.
Don't touch your husband. Oh, I'll just give him a hug. You dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't done the instructions. Throws the instruction books at them. There's the instructions we can do as you told. Oh, you dickhead. It's only 3.6 Roentgen. Not great, not terrible. But the meter, not great, not
only
terrible.
goes up to 3.6 Roentgen.
You dickhead.
What's the other one? Oh, it's more like 200 Roentgen. Yeah, but that's as far as that meter goes too.
Yeah, it was 700.
Yeah, but it's broken. Yeah, the meter's obviously broken.
And then the army colonel drives the van in.
Yeah.
And then drives it back out. And he's like, it's not 700 Roentgen. It's 20,000 Roentgen.
Well, old mate, when it first happens and he's on the roof and he peers over into it.
Oh.
Oh, man. He's like and his face starts glowing.
And then he turns and looks at the camera and he's like bright orange. And you're just sitting there going, he has just stared into the belly of the beast. Like into the very depth of hell.
Yeah, literally. Hell on earth.
You know,
to this day.
Or the end of the second episode where they've all gone into the tunnel underneath.
In the water.
In the water.
And
the
ends,
lights go
ends
out.
with like the meter going crackling.
And the lights go out.
That give you anxiety too, because it gave me anxiety.
I was just sitting there, oh, you dickhead.
Anywho.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, watch it.
It's great.
It's great.
It's great. It's as great as watching the Belgian Grand Prix every year.
Yes. Or the Monza F1.
Yes.
Next news item. Pirelli is confirmed as tyre supplier until 2027.
This honestly surprised me because I thought Bridgestone were coming in for sure.
Yeah, well,
I think Michelin put in for one.
Bridgestone.
And I think, was it Goodyear?
I think it was Goodyear, yeah.
Someone else, yeah, like 3 different tyre suppliers put in for this, and then Formula One just turned around and said, "No, Pirelli still got it." I'm like, really?
Yeah, but this is the last time Pirelli's signing up.
Yeah, well, Pirelli pulled out of the World Rally Championship.
Yeah.
So they've revoked that. So I don't know what Pirelli's going to do as a manufacturer going forward.
Well, Pirelli has said that this will have met their marketing targets.
I guess so.
Once their targeting market targets are hit, they're pulling out of F1.
Yeah, righto. Because I know Michelin are like the main tyre supplier of the World Endurance Championship.
Yeah.
And I think Yeah, well, Pirelli, I don't know who's taking over next year, actually, in the World Rally Championship. But, yeah, no, I mean, good on them.
Yeah.
Good on them. They've had a checkered history.
Well, I think Bridgestone lost it because they went for renewability and eco-friendliness with their tyres.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get the tyres to hit the cliff and drop off like the Pirellis can.
Oh, the Pirellis definitely can.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen it at Silverstone 2013. I mean, we saw it at Qatar. Literally the last race.
Yeah.
The tyres hit the cliff so quickly that they had to mandate pit stop lengths.
You know what the tyres at Qatar reminded me of? The Michelins at the US GP in Indianapolis.
In 2005.
Yeah.
How they just exploded. Couldn't handle the chicane.
Yeah.
I couldn't handle that last corner.
That's what Qatar and Pirelli's tyres reminded me of.
That was crazy. I've never seen a tyre degrade. Someone did one sighting lap on the soft tyre and the whole shoulder was cracked.
Yeah.
And they're like, I've never seen this at any track.
Yeah, no, that was a
Not
disgrace.
to mention it was fucking however many degrees air temperature.
Yeah.
It was so hot drivers were fainting in the cool room.
Yeah.
Let alone how hot on the track it was.
I mean, you had Ocon puking up in his helmet.
Yeah, Logan
Sargent just passed out.
Almost passed out.
He did black out.
Yeah.
He blacked out twice behind the wheel, and that's when he finally went, no, guys, I've got to bring it in. And they made the right call to say, yeah, bring it in.
That's fucking dangerous. I mean, they talk about micro-sleeping behind the wheel in a road car.
Yeah.
Imagine blacking out behind the wheel of a Formula 1 car.
You know, the worst thing about it is they sit there and advertise, if you drink, don't drive. That's a worse advertisement. They're sitting there saying driving tired or super hot,
yeah,
where you could pass out.
Yeah.
That's not a great message to be sending people.
And these guys are fit as a fiddle.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, race drivers are triathletes, basically.
Yeah.
Like, they're fit as. These are not just, the rhetoric that racing drivers aren't athletes. These guys train their neck muscles with 8-kilogram helmets on.
Yeah.
George Russell's running triathlon distances in cardio.
Yeah, it's not like in the 1950s where it's just some rich guy that was a pilot in World War II that jumped behind the car.
With no seatbelt on and a leather helmet.
And an open-face helmet.
Yeah, like goggles.
Yeah, and a steering wheel that's big enough you could drive a boat with it.
Thin-ass tyres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Driving a canister of fuel around a track.
A bomb on wheels.
Hoping not to hit anything, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something to consider. Although apparently Qatar is in December next year. It's bumped back down the calendar a bit.
Yeah, still it's...
I don't know. I mean, they reckon it's going to be cooler.
Yeah.
But I think there's only so much cooling you can do.
Yeah.
Especially in a place like that that's on the equator. Like, I don't think I'm going to look at Singapore in the winter and be like, that's manageable.
Yeah.
I've walked through Singapore in the middle of the day in September. And it's not manageable. It's not manageable at all. It's like hell on earth.
But it's a dry heat.
It's not a dry heat at all. It's a wet heat. It's a humid heat. It's unbearable.
So, yeah, Pirelli have got the tyre contract until 2027.
I'll be very interested to see who the next tyre supplier will be. I reckon it might be Bridgestone.
Bring back the tyre war.
Yeah.
Or Dunlop.
Or Dunlop.
Yeah, use
Or
the same
Michelin.
tyres as V8 supercars.
Or Michelin. They're already supplying the World Endurance Championship.
Or Goodyear.
Would this current iteration of the FIA accept a tyre war? I don't think they would.
No, I don't think they would
And
either.
2027, that's only 1 year past the next set of regulations.
And apparently that was one of the things that Michelin wanted, was they didn't want to supply everyone. They only wanted to supply half the team. They wanted a tyre war.
I'm not sure you can go back to the tyre war days.
Because I think that's what cost them a shot.
Could you imagine Indianapolis happening again?
I could, at Qatar.
Exactly, at Qatar. Someone's going to get
Singapore.
a durable tyre, and then they're going to go to Qatar, and Michelin are going to have a tyre that makes it, and Bridgestone are going to have a tyre that doesn't make it, and all of a sudden we've got half the grid racing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
I
a great
don't
look.
think this current iteration of the FIA would let a tyre war happen again
No.
for that very reason.
I mean, look at all the tracks where it could happen. Singapore,
Silverstone.
Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Jeddah,
Yep.
Bahrain,
Yeah, Bahrain's a bad one for it.
even Abu Dhabi.
To a point. To a point. You know, there's a lot of tracks that are super hard on the tyres, but yeah, no, none worse than Qatar. But yeah, look, that's the reason why I don't think there's going to be a tyre war.
No.
Whoever signs the next tyre deal will be the sole supplier. We'll have to be ready to be the sole supplier to the whole sport.
Yeah.
For the sake of parity and the sake of not having half the field have its tyres melt.
But, I think Bridgestone would be the perfect fit to come back.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm all against this. I'm all for them going for a tyre that doesn't hit the cliff so fucking fast. Like, make the soft really, really, really soft.
Yeah.
And the hard really, really, really hard. And the medium one being the one in between. So we don't have a C1, a C2, and a C3, and a C4, and a C5. Just a really hard, a really soft, and a really ordinary.
Yeah. Yeah. There's too much of a variance between. Do you think we just go back to what Bridgestone had? A soft and a hard. We get rid of the medium compound.
Oh, look, I think we should get rid of this rule. If we're going back to that, get rid of the rule, well, you have to use both compounds.
Yeah? Just race on whatever you want.
Yeah.
More strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep banging on about they're never going to bring back refueling, but
I think they should.
I
Bring
think
back
Formula One
refueling.
is, I mean, this race, though, was pretty good on tyre strategy. Like, there was a lot of different tyre strategies.
Yeah, because they had one less practice session because they had the sprint race.
Maybe that's what Formula One should look at doing.
What, just cutting back on the practice sessions?
Have 2 practice sessions, not 3.
Yeah, well, I got no problem with that.
Give them less fucking time to sort shit out.
Affects their ticket sales, though. But it is a business. They do have to make money.
Yeah.
But I know how to fix it. Celebrity races.
Celebrity races.
Yep.
In
they
Formula
used to-
One cars or like Toyota 86s?
Oh, Toyota Priuses.
EV. Yeah. EV cars. The worst cars we could find.
All those shitbox MGs.
Yeah. Just crap. Like a Nissan Leaf. Like just the
A
most
Ford car.
the most dog shit car you could find and just have them go.
Look, every time I think about the Ford car, I always remember the movie Quantum of Solace. Like James Bond is driving an Aston Martin and a Land Rover, and the main Bond girl in it is driving a Ford car that's got a leopard print on it. You're like, the fuck? Really? Really? Yeah.
We can't have her go scratch the car too much.
No.
Got to give her a cheap one. We can't have her driving
With
the Aston.
leopard print on it. Like the most unattractive thing ever.
Yeah, leopard
Leopard
print.
print.
Leopard print on its own is the most unattractive thing ever.
It always reminds me of Quagmire from Family Guy.
For that reason.
Right. Next news item. So we did talk about Andretti last episode, but another development has happened with the whole Andretti saga.
Fill me in.
So the FIA has approved them.
Yes.
They're waiting for Formula One management to approve them.
Uh-huh.
But there's going to be a slight dent in the application.
Oh dear.
Andretti's agreement with Renault has run out.
So they don't have an engine
They
supplier.
don't have an engine supplier.
Right. That's a problem.
That will hurt them.
What are they going to go racing with? Hopes and dreams?
Imagination.
Imagination Grand Prix, yeah.
Yay!
Okay, can they source their own engines in the meantime?
No.
What are they going to do?
So if they do get accepted by Formula One management and are given a spot on the grid, there are 2 engine suppliers that are required to supply them with an engine or give them an option. So it can't be Mercedes, because Mercedes are supplying Mercedes, Williams, Aston Martin, and McLaren.
When is this for?
2025.
Okay, so Aston wouldn't have switched to Honda yet,
No.
and Red Bull wouldn't have switched to Ford yet.
No.
Right.
So it can't be Mercedes. It can't be Ferrari, because Ferrari's already got themselves, Haas, and Alfa Romeo. So they've got 3 teams. So their only choices are Red Bull Honda
I don't see that happening.
or Renault.
And Renault's deal's expired.
Yeah. Which means Formula One management can turn around and say to Renault, you are required to provide engines to Andretti.
I think that will probably happen. Because I don't see Ferrari giving them an engine.
No, Ferrari
and
can't.
I don't see Red Bull giving them an engine.
If Formula One management turns around and says to Red Bull, you and Honda have to supply them engines, they have to do it.
Oof.
They have to do it.
Yeah, that would be a big step.
But,
Why can Ferrari not? I thought the maximum team was 4.
yeah, but they've got 3. And so the FIA's gone, look, we can't get you to supply another team, because then that would mean there's 4. When you've got 2 engine suppliers, one's only supplying 1 and one's supplying 2.
I feel like Renault's going to have to take the bullet on that one.
Yeah, well,
Because, you can't just have your factory team running your engine.
yeah, well, I think it's stupid that they're sitting there going, well, we just supply our own team.
I mean, I like that idea. We've said openly in the past that we want 10 teams and 10 different engines. I do like that idea, but in the current climate, Renault's the one that's going to have to fork out an engine.
Well, the rumour on the paddock is that they'll only get supplied engines for 2025. And that in 2026, Cadillac does have to provide an engine.
I'm not against that.
So for 2025, the Renault engines will be rebadged as Cadillac. I'm sure the fucking French will love that.
Oof.
But 26, they got to show up with a GM designed motor.
I'm excited for that.
Now, the race, our lovely people on YouTube called The Race have said, GM would have to design an engine from scratch and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What's IndyCar running next year again?
Chevy and Honda engines?
Yeah. V6 turbo hybrids.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit down on power compared to the F1.
Mm-hmm.
And their hybrid part is going to work a little bit differently from the F1 part.
Yes, because they don't brake on oval tracks.
Yeah. But I think if they take that and modify it, and I'm sure if they get Renault engines, they'll be able to sit there and pull apart all the electronic stuff and figure out what Renault's doing with the electronic part of their engine.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could whip something up.
They could get close to what they need to get to.
Yeah.
With the resources available to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. I don't think they're going to struggle.
I think Andretti's going to sit there and say...
And if they're fucking smart about it, they should have already started on it.
Yeah.
Because they're only going to have 1 year's grace.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. I have faith that General Motors and Cadillac have started development on their engine. Along with Audi.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Ford has already started on their part of what's going to be part of the Red Bull powertrain in 2026.
Exactly. You've only got 3 years.
And I mean, Ferrari and Mercedes are probably working away at their new power units as well as Honda.
Yep.
Because Honda's with Aston Martin in 2026.
Honda probably don't need to do too much.
No, they probably just use what they've got.
You could literally just hand this engine over.
Because
it's pretty good.
Because yeah, they apparently they've got the IP back on the power unit.
Well, yeah, because they're leaving Red Bull powertrains.
Yeah.
So the Red Bull powertrains have to give the intellectual property back, yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Which is good news for Aston Martin.
Yeah, well.
Hey, here's Red Bull's engine from 3 years ago that was dominant. I mean, by then it's going to be 3-year-old technology. And the new engines have to be, 30% battery? Or
50-50.
Yeah. Okay, it doesn't really work.
Even though Christian Horner wants it to be 60-40.
Yeah, no.
But everyone else has come out and said, no, mate, we agreed on 50-50. Just because you haven't developed your engine enough, that's not an us problem. That's a you problem.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay. That scuppers that idea because...
The X factor is definitely going to be Audi.
Yeah, I'm keen.
They're the big unknown.
Yeah, but they're also the big known. How dominant were they in world endurance racing?
Well, I mean...
They were diesel engines, granted, but...
Well, what if they've got one of the better engine minds working on their power unit too?
They probably do.
You know who I'm talking about.
Who are you talking about?
Binotto.
Is he not going to... Wasn't he going somewhere else?
Everyone thought he was going to Renault.
Yeah.
No.
He might be going to Audi?
I think he's working on their power unit.
Mm.
That's a tasty morsel right there.
With Andreas Seidel as well.
Yeah, but he's only working on the engine side.
Yeah. But Andreas Seidel is running that.
Yeah, with James Key.
Yeah, that's a... Oof. That's a good team.
Yeah.
That's a good team.
They've got the best wind tunnel at the moment. I got halfway through that sentence and realised, hang on, Aston Martin's going to have a new wind tunnel. McLaren's got their new wind tunnel.
We just opened ours like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the wind tunnel at Sauber Industries is still pretty goddamn advanced.
Oh, and then they're just adding the might of Audi to it.
Yeah.
Which is basically Mercedes 2.0.
Yeah.
It's the German machine.
Yeah. Yeah, that entire team is the X factor in this. It's the unknown.
Yes. It's, what is it, Vorsprung Technik? Whatever it is, whatever Audi's fucking slogan is.
Yeah, but that
German technology.
But
best on the planet.
I think teams like Haas and very much Haas really do need to step their game up. Because Haas's model...
Gene needs to make that decision, though.
Because, I mean...
He hasn't thrown much at it. What are they doing? They got a shed at Maranello.
Yeah, because they buy their chassis off Dallara, so it's already made somewhere else.
Yeah.
Then they've got ex-Ferrari personnel that Ferrari couldn't keep on the books because of the cost cap.
Yeah.
So they're working there at Maranello in a little barn down the end of the road.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
You know,
it's not a good look for a Formula One team that wants to be taken seriously.
Yeah, taking as many parts off Ferrari as possible, building the bare minimum on a chassis that someone else is making.
And they wonder why they're in 13th and 14th every fucking race.
You know, it's you got to speculate to accumulate. You got to
both their
spend
cars
money.
started from the pit lane this week too.
Yeah, and
both their cars started from the pit lane with the Aston Martins. And Lance Stroll got top 10, and Fernando Alonso would have got top 10. Yeah. And the Haas's were nowhere. 15th, 16th, I think.
Haas is just...
What do they want to do? If they're not taking the sport seriously, and it doesn't seem like they are, get out.
Yeah, sell it to Andretti.
Get out. Like, if you don't want to be world champion, if you ain't gunning for the belt,
Yeah, if
What
you
are
don't
you
want to
doing?
be world champion, you shouldn't be in the sport.
what are you doing in the industry?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right Gene Haas sitting there saying, well, we're in F1. Cool. I'm sure Roger Penske would love that spot too.
I could be in F1. Doesn't mean I'm going to be any fucking good at it.
There was 4 teams that applied for the spot that Andretti got. It was Carlin. There was a Nice Sky or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Mm.
But it was like a Indonesian team that was owned by backed like a whole bunch of Indonesian millionaire people,
Yeah, right.
and that got the FIA just went, hell no, we're not interested because
Not having an Indonesian team.
it just seemed like it was vaporware. Like
Yeah,
it was,
right.
it was them selling a whole bunch of, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and blah, 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 blah. And they had no facilities or anything.
Yeah, right.
So it was all just vaporware. And there was another F2 team that was interested in jumping in as well. I think it might have been Trident.
Yeah,
And they got told no as well.
yeah.
And it's like, you've got Haas on the grid, you got Andretti that's sitting there going, we want to be on. You got other teams that want to be on, and Gene Haas is sitting there going, I don't really want to spend money.
I just want my logo on TV
Yeah.
occasionally,
Yeah, and it's
not on a NASCAR track.
like, well, sorry, Gene, but I think you're pissing in everyone's pocket, mate.
You're making everyone look bad.
You know, you've got 2 drivers that, let's be frank, are on their way out of the sport.
They never really hit any great heights.
No.
You got that one pole position in Brazil by fluke.
Yeah.
By fucking ass.
Yeah.
And was promptly swallowed up.
You've got a car that's just spare parts and other people designing it for you.
The last time I saw you happy was Drive to Survive in like 2019.
Yeah, I mean, the
Where
only thing,
Raymond Grosjean got P8 or something.
the only time Haas is mentioned is either when we're shitting on them or Gunther Steiner.
There was that one run where, like, was it Magnussen that got 5th?
Yeah.
Was it the start of last year? There was a
Yeah.
start of last year where you used all your you blew your load. You used all your development tokens at once to give yourself the 5th fastest car on the grid for a time.
Yeah. Yeah, for a cup of coffee.
And then everyone caught you by mid-season, and that was the end.
You know who else did that? Aston Martin this year.
Aston Martin did that this year, yes.
Just blew their load in the first 5 races,
Yeah.
and then everyone else caught up, and they were just like, hang on, whoa.
We don't
whoa.
have any developments left.
No, we've run
In
out
fact,
of the
developments we fucking used are worse than the developments we had.
Yeah, it's just absurd.
So much for your crack team of fucking
Well, I mean, you got Mike Crack as the boss.
cracks. Mike's crack team of
Crack
fucking
Commandos.
engineers and aerodynamicists that
Mike Crack's Crack Commando.
you were fucking, so high and mighty at the start of the year, but now Fernando's calling it a piece of shit.
He's cracked it, finally.
Yeah. I mean, Max Verstappen is also calling his car a piece of shit, but
Yeah, while he's winning the race.
while he's wrapped out, he's won the race and won the championship, and yeah,
Right. Well, that's the news for this week.
nice.
We're going to move right along to the drivers' standings. So, drivers' standings, Max Verstappen has won the championship on 466 points.
Yeah, but the brakes are shit.
The car's a shit box.
The shafts are shit, box. The brakes are shit. Don't talk to me in the braking zones.
For fuck's sake, don't talk to me in the braking zones. Second place is Sergio Perez with 240 points. Third place is Lewis Hamilton on 201 points. Fernando Alonso is fourth with 183 points. Carlos Sainz is fifth with 171 points. Lando Norris has bumped up a position. He is in 6th with 159 points. Charles Leclerc has dropped down to 7th with 151. George Russell is in 8th with 143. Oscar Piastri is in 9th with 83. And Pierre Gasly has finally bumped Lance Stroll off the top 10 with 56 points.
Which is hilarious considering Lance Stroll actually scored points this race. But he was bumped out of the top 10 after not scoring for fucking ages.
Pretty
Go
much.
figure.
And then we got the constructors. Unfortunately, the ones that they've put up on their F1 page are before Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc got disqualified. So I've got to unfortunately read them off the website. So in first place, winning the constructors, is Red Bull Racing on 706 points.
With their shit brakes.
With their shit brakes. With their lazy Mexican co-driver. Second place is Mercedes with 344 points. Ferrari is in third place with 322 points. Fourth place is McLaren Mercedes on 242 points.
Finally jumped Aston.
Aston Martin is fifth with 236 points. Sixth place is Alpine with 100 points. Seventh place is Williams Mercedes with 26 points. Eighth is Alfa Romeo with 16 points. Ninth is Haas with 12 points. As I try and flick over the page. And in 10th place with 10 points is Alpha Tauri.
Nice.
If they've got 10
Alpha
points...
Tauri's going to hunt down Haas.
Yeah. They might even hunt down Alfa Romeo. They might be the superior Alpha.
They might... Alfa Romeo is going to be the Beta Alpha, and Alpha Tauri is going to be the Alpha Alpha. The Alpha.
No comment. There's too many alphas.
Imagine that. Imagine Alpha Tauri being on the bottom of the championship all year.
Except at the start when it was McLaren.
And it gets to Abu Dhabi, and they finished second last or third last.
Yeah, 5 points behind Williams.
They jump Haas and Alfa Romeo. They do Chaz Mostert when he won Bathurst on the final lap because Jamie Whincup ran out of fuel.
Good old Jamie Whincup. Can't master a fucking petrol tank.
He's got to be the worst teammate in Bathurst history.
Yeah, who was he always teamed up with?
It was with Lowndesy.
It was Lowndesy, but there was someone else.
It was Dumbrell as well. Paul Dumbrell.
Yeah, because there was that year that Chaz Mostert won it. We were watching it, and I was sitting there. They had a camera shot of Paul Dumbrell. And we're sitting there singing, "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
Try your best, but you don't succeed. I think someone made a film clip of YouTube of every one of Jamie Whincup's fuck-ups, and it was consecutive years. It was 2014, 2015, 2016. I think he fucked up 3 or 4 times.
And they always cut back
and it was
to that
always
same
Paul
shot.
Dumbrell. And Paul Dumbrell in black and white. You try
your best and you don't succeed.
Tragic.
All right, now we get to the social medias. So you can watch this on YouTube, care of Vindicator 18 channel. You can also watch us on YouTube on the F1 Chat 1 channel. Don't forget the one.
Don't forget Juan.
Don't forget the Juan. You can interact with us on the Facebook, on the F1 Chat. You can chat with us on X.
Yes.
That's the F1 Chat 1.
Don't forget the one. I've been updating that a little bit lately too, so that's good.
Nice.
They know that we're still relevant.
We're still out there. You can see this video on Rumble, which is the F1 Chat.
Rumble, young man, rumble.
And the Spotify, which is the F1 Chat. So, we will be back next week.
Yeah, maybe with a full contingent, I'm not sure.
Yeah, hopefully with a Longhorn with us. for the Mexican F1
And it's on at an almost reasonable time.
before we go to work.
It's on I don't know. I'll see how I go. I might be able to watch the race. I don't know.
I
Or we
probably
can just
won't.
we just watch it after work. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah. But hopefully that'll be even better race than this race.
Mexico tends to be a decent race.
Yeah.
Maybe Lando Norris can stonk in for a win
I
finally.
think the only year where it's been a crappy race was 2017.
Yeah.
And I think I watched half of it because I was in Melbourne for PAX.
Yeah.
And I hadn't slept all night and I had to catch a bus into the airport. And I stayed awake because I didn't want to sleep in and miss my flight.
I did that coming back from New Zealand once. I remember watching Bathurst qualifying. I'd been awake for 30 hours.
Oh.
I was watching Bathurst qualifying in Brisbane Airport, trying not to fall asleep. It was brutal.
Oh.
It was brutal.
I did stay up for, I think it was 46 hours consecutive.
Human bodies aren't designed to do that.
And, yeah,
You start hallucinating. It's weird.
because I started work at, so I was up at 6, started work at 7, and I didn't crash until 11 o'clock the next night. Yeah. And I spent the entire night, just could not sleep.
Yeah.
And then 6 o'clock the next morning, I was texting an old friend from high school. Yeah, that's when I found out that her life had turned to shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy what the human body can do.
I think that was end of 2019 I did that. That was so much fun. I thought, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't. Like, by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock the next night, you do start seeing stuff.
Yes. You start hallucinating.
Yeah, you're just tripping balls.
Yeah. Or you're micro sleeping.
Oh, I didn't even get to that.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about our insomnia.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of your insomnia-inducing F1 chat. Mum, how you doing?
And until we see you next week, thank you for tuning in, and it is goodbye.